Pacquiao'S, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
His post-boxing career could be promoting or is promoting. He said that he's already promoting weekly, monthly shows in the Philippines.
He has a monthly show right now, and him and Governor not Sing Song. Another governor that used to be. Yes, they do promote fights together, and they have some good prospects also.
Does he have a fighter in particular that stood out to you that you would like to say, you know what, this guy could do something for Manny?
There's one out there that's very good, and he's Manny's cousin actually, and he's a good prospect.
His name?
Freddie.
My memory is
Freddie, Manny is 37 years old. If you were to lose a step tomorrow night, would you have known that in camp, or would you have to find out like the rest of us on Saturday night?
Well, we had a little bit of a slow start in camp, and I think it had a lot to do with the long layoff. So it was really hard for Manny to get going in camp this time. And he says he realized how hard this sport is because he never really had that long layoff before. And he really didn't peak until the last two sparring days, and then he really came along, and the firepower was there, and everything kind of came together, and I was waiting for that moment to happen for a little bit longer than usual, but it did happen, and he is there right now, and he's in great shape for this fight, and his firepower seems to be a little more aggressive than he has been in a long time, so I like where he's at right now, but it did take a little bit longer this time than it has in the past. So getting older is part of that equation.
Freddie, because you knew Oscar was done before Manny fought him, so you would know before anyone else would. In comparison to the Mayweather camp, was this as good a camp, or not? So because he had to come on late in the camp and the late.
Well, the thing is, since he came on late, I don't think that makes a big difference. It's actually probably better to come on late so he doesn't overdo it. So I think it was ended up being the perfect timing. But the thing is, he is getting older and so forth, and but boxers are going longer into higher ages now. I mean, when I was a fighter, I retired at 27, and that was average back then for fighters to retire. But nowadays, fighters are lasting until 35s and 40s, and now Hopkins in 50s. So. With the science we have now of athletics is much better now than it was back in when I was a kid.
Freddie, if this is the last time you work with him, what would your qualities stand out to you? What do you take with you from working with him?
We had a great career and so forth, but you know what? He's like the best guy in the world. He is like the most generous, fair, nice person I've ever met in my life. I mean, the only way Manny Pacquiao will spend all his money is he gives it all away. I mean, because he's that generous. He's the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. And then, he's not prejudiced against anybody. I mean, he treats everybody fairly. He loves everybody. He's just a good person. I think he's the best person I've ever met as a human in my life.
You guys, we got to let other people ask questions. So let's ask one question and go to somebody else.
Freddie, if this is the last ride, the last fight of Manny's glorious career, how has this run been, and how has it felt being taken along for this amazing ride?
It's been 15 years of greatness. It's been really, really good. Pacquiao is a generous person, and I can go visit him in the Philippines whenever I want because he gave me enough money to buy a ticket.
First impression you had of Manny when he turned up at the World Cup? What did you think?
My first impression was that he's special, and I knew that after one round, and I said, wow, this guy can fight, and then we went to his manager and said, we have a new trainer, and then when he fought LaGuava, I tried to get a bet down. LaGuava was like a 60-1 favorite. None of the casinos would take my bet. I was telling Bruce Trampler and all the guys that Manny's going to kill this guy, and they kept laughing at me, telling me, no, LaGuava's way too much for him. And then after the LaGuava fight, they all started to believe me. And then I think Manny's best fight still is when he beat Barrera the first fight in Texas. That was my favorite fight, and still is my favorite fight with Manny. And I think that put him on the map because Barrera was pound for pound the best guy in the world at that time, and Manny dominated him. So I have some great memories of Manny, and those are just a couple.
What was his best weight class?
his best weight class, it's 135, 140 by far. But at this point right now, 140.
Did you see the comments Burr recently made that he said he wished he never fought Pacquiao that first time?
I never saw that, but
Yeah, he said
that's
he
unusual.
could have had easier fights.
Yeah, but the best fighting the best is always the best thing for boxing. And I walked down the steps that night. I was having trouble getting settled and stuff. And then I look up and the referee's counting over Manny because he had knocked down in the first round. But it was actually a slip. But the thing is, I didn't know. I said, "Oh." I said I picked the wrong guy. And then I thought he was going to count Manny out. And then Manny got up and came on, and I think he knocked him out in about the 11th round.
They do it now, yeah.
Freddie, Teddy seems to have an extremely personal relationship with Tim Bradley.
Yeah.
So early on. Do you think that could be something that could hinder him if he sees Bradley get in trouble? Maybe stop the fight early when Bradley has good recovering ability. That it could be a problem.
I don't think Teddy's that type of guy. I think he knows. I think he knows when a fighter will be ready to be stopped and so forth. He has enough experience, but he has been an announcer for a long time now. So maybe he's lost that. I'm not sure, but they seem to get along very well. And all the stories about firemen, all that bullshit. I mean, that's not going to get you ready for a fight. I mean, I hope you got him ready tactically, and I know we're going to hear another story or two, and he's entertaining, yes, but does it help the fighter? I really don't think stories about firemen are going to help a fighter.
I know you want Manny to beat Tim, but do you want to beat Teddy?
Yes, badly.
Freddie, how would you compare this week to the week leading up to the Floyd fight? Has it been easier for you and Manny to get your final preparations done without the circus in town? Has it been?
Yeah, it has been. I mean, that fight was very demanding. I was really tired after that fight. There was a lot of press. There was a lot of everything. That was a big fight, and that was the biggest fight I've ever been involved with in my life. And this one is a little quieter, but the thing is, big fights are what we live for, and I hope that one comes around one more time after this one. But again, that's only if Manny wants to fight one more time.
Freddie.
Howard was dealing with many changes. Even with the appearance of love in Manny's life, he changed his style.
Yes, he changed his style a little bit. He wasn't as aggressive because he felt that he could just outscore his opponents and not hurt them and knock them out. And I think the religion had a lot to do with that. But I think he's finally realized that the fans like knockouts. They want to see knockouts. And he's been a lot more aggressive in this training camp than he has been in the last couple of years. So I like what I see for this camp so far. It's been very good.
Was it shocking to see all that changes in his life?
Not really shocking to see all the changes in his life. There was a lot of good things that he did for his family and being father and being an adult, and he needed to make some changes, and it was good for him. And it hurt his boxing career a little bit though, and he wasn't as aggressive and maybe the firepower. And then fighting at 147 though wasn't the best move either. Well, it was a great move money-wise and so forth, but actually his best fighting weight was always at 140 or 135. I mean, he was a better puncher there. He's never been a big puncher at 147 because by fight time the other guys are weighing like 150, 160, and it's much more difficult to knock out a bigger guy than it is a smaller guy. And he's a much better puncher at 135 and 140. And he's not a great puncher at 147. I mean, he hits hard, yes, but he's just not as good as when he was at 140 or 135. So I attribute the weight gain and the weight class he's fighting is why he hasn't knocked a lot of people out lately.
Freddie, I want to ask you about a previous fighter you had in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I know he's with Robert Garcia, Ricky Funes now, but before that was actually known to the media. It seemed that he could have ended up back with you, as his father had expressed he would like to see him back with you. And did you hear what his father had to say about him in his lack of discipline thereof. How do you feel about that whole situation?
I haven't heard what his father said, but the thing is, he's dead. He's a great fighter, and I think the 4 fights I had with Chavez, he did really, really well in. And the last fight together, we just I only trained 5 days for it, so why I don't know, but I do like him, yes, and if he did want to come back and work again and work hard, I would probably take him on because I do like him. I like him as a person. I think he's a very nice kid.
Did they reach out before Robert Garcia and Ricky Funes? Did they reach out to you at all?
No.
No?
Freddie.
Next question. In order for Manny to win this fight Saturday, does he have to fight differently than he did in the first 2 fights? Did you have to tinker with some things for the game plan? Or does he have to be the same Manny Pacquiao?
He'd be the same Manny Pacquiao, but we want a better win though. We made those tweaks to win more decisively and not make it a close fight at all. And Manny knows I'm looking for a knockout, so I hope it comes.
Freddie, compare Tim Bradley to Juan Manuel Marquez as an opponent for Manny Pacquiao. Who's the tougher challenge?
Marquez.
Why?
Smarter, more intelligent, counterpuncher. Difficult guy to train, to adjust to. He's a good fighter. He's a crafty guy, and his cornerman is one of the best in the world.
Were you surprised that Tim Bradley was able to actually beat Marquez right after Marquez had beat Manny Pacquiao?
Yes. But Bradley's a very, very durable, tough guy. I mean, he has a lot of heart, and he's proven that more than once.
And Marquez kept asking for the rematch, and you guys kept giving it to him. And then when Manny wanted one after the last fight, he's like, he'll never fight him again.
Well, he likes to win last minute. So I mean, I would too. But he told me he would fight Cotto, so we were negotiating that for a little while. But then that kind of broke down a little bit because we couldn't really agree to a weight.
Besides the knockout ending, do you think part of it might have been right before that? I mean, Manny had broke his nose, dropped him. It seemed like he was on his way to stopping Marquez.
He was, but the thing is, he made a vital mistake, and Marquez capitalized on it. But that's how smart a fighter he is. I mean, he knew that once Manny stepped on his foot there, he knew exactly where he was right in front of him. He threw the right punch at the right time. And that was something that comes from his trainer, Nacho, who's a very good trainer. I respect him a lot.
Freddie, Manny has stated also that there was talks of him retiring before that knockout by his family, that they were...
Yes.
What fight was that when they started coming
His
out?
family's been pushing him to retire for a couple of years now, and that's why it might come true, because his family means a lot to him, and they would like to see him quit boxing and spend more time with the kids and so forth. And it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. He's had a great career.
Coach,
was there any point in the first 2 fights that you felt the team was hurting Manny, or Manny was in danger at none at all?
Tim Bradley is not a big puncher. He's a little bit slow of foot, and he's never hurt Manny. No.
Freddie, didn't you say he did hurt him in that second fight, though, when he caught him with the overhand right? I thought you said that at the press conference.
I never said that, no.
Okay, so you're not worried. What do you think about him?
He's not a power puncher at all.
Okay.
I mean...
What do you think about the Brandon Rios fight? They both fought Brandon Rios. And,
look at the shape Brandon Rios was in the first fight and in the last fight. I mean, Brandon was... I never expected him to come into a fight not trying to win and just lose like he did, and with all that fat hanging over his belly. I mean, he was so out of shape in that fight. I think he retired before the fight, actually.
So you don't attribute that to Tim Bradley at all?
No, at all. Come on, you can't give him credit for that. You can't give Teddy credit either for the game plan, because they had nothing in front of him. I mean, let's face it, he really looked bad going into the ring that night, and he did retire after the fight, but now I hear he's making a comeback, and I hear he wants to fight Miguel Cotto.
Freddie, as for Bradley, how do you feel about the kind words that he said about Manny at the press conference yesterday? They seem genuine.
They're both gentlemen. They're both good people. I mean, the thing is, we don't need no trash fights to make a good fight. And one thing about those two guys, they will go out and fight really hard, and they both do fight hard, and they're both very resilient people. So I think it's going to be a good action fight.
Who do you think is the better inside fighter? Who's the better inside fighter?
Inside fighter?
Yeah.
Bradley probably. Manny's a little bit better on the outside with him. Yeah.
How do you see the fight getting on?
Pretty much like the first two, they're going to box each other a little bit and fill each other out, and they going to get Manny to start a little bit quicker this time than usual. They've been working on that, and as the fight goes, we'll make the adjustments we've done in training, and we'll see how they work.
Okay, thank you everyone. Freddie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Freddie.
Thank you all for your cooperation and class.
This is Bobby, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.